Do-do-do-do-do-do. Hey, it is the very third episode of Lines on a Page. I am your host, the poor man's Bob Ross, Thomas Price. So, as you well know, today is Labor Day, so I am doing a sale, and I kind of have to get this part out before I do the rest of the housekeeping. So, doing a little bit of a sale here of my sketchbooks, and you can get one or the other for 20 bucks. If you do get the blank variant, it does come with a free sketch, or you can get both of these for 30. And I also have prints. That's Prince, not Prince, the dead guitar singer guy, 80s. Anyways, so we have the Year of the Tiger one, $10. Also comes with a free remark, and making it brand new, whatever. By the way, this Tiger print was a collaboration between myself and Corbin Delaney. If you don't know who Corbin is, definitely follow him. He's been pumping out some good stuff lately. And hello, got Mr. Freeze going on right here. And this is also going for 10 bucks and has a free remark. But like I said, this is for today only. So if you're wanting one of these, please get them. And as you well know, with the rest of everything else that we're doing today, today is Lines on the Page. Tomorrow is going to be the unboxing videos. That happens usually about noontime every Tuesday. Roll over to Thursday with Shop Talk with the best person in the world, Josh Olive, and Alan Breedlove, the Breedlove Asylum. And of course, Sundays is the Blurred Syndicate, Haven Comics mashup, Sunday Drink and Draw with Wyatt and Jeremy. And just happen to like everything that's been going on. Please remember to like and subscribe. And Haven Comics, as you can see, is located on Slaughter Road in Madison, Alabama. And last but not least, if you just happen to like anything that I do, there is the links with all that. Now, getting to what we're going to be doing today is going to be drawing Morpheus from Sandman, also known as Dream. The funny part is that as much as I have been around the various characters from the Sandman, so that's Dream, Delirium, Death, Despair, the Corinthian, and I forgot the name of the pumpkin farmer guy. Been around, these characters as far as just like knowing about these characters for about a good 10 years. And weirdly enough, the only thing from Sandman that I've read have actually been the Death Comics offshoots. And I think there are two of them, but they're both, drawn wonderfully by Chris Bogelo, who kind of has his own style, his own thing going on. He also did the first, 20-something comics of Generation X back in the 90s. And but yeah, so Sandman, Neil Gaiman at his best, if you will, and wanted to do something a little bit interesting. So when it gets to the page, and we're going to be doing actually not many things basically as far as what we're going to be doing, but the emphasis of going to be drawing Dream today is going to be not only setting the mood of a character, but also trying to employ negative space at the same time. And so we're going to be getting a little bit sparse and a little bit messy at the same time. So it's definitely going to be kind of an interesting thing. And of course, I choose the one day to wear a white T-shirt to be making a mess. So this is going to go wonderfully. All right. So the interesting part about all of this is that, and if we go to, there we go, Canva Cam. Da, da, da. The one thing I'm not going to focus on is actually not drawing the actual character himself, but actually uh, drawing um, basically the helmet, which kind of has a really unique shape. It's got this oval thing going on. And I'm going to double check with the reference real quick. Okay, so it's that circles down there. And it's going to be about here. Now, the interesting thing is that I've drawn Morpheus normally a lot. I've also drawn Death a lot. I have not drawn the Corinthian yet, so I definitely want to try to do that. Uh, hopefully before the end of the year, even if it's just a sketch situation, I still kind of want to draw them. Going to and we're going to do something really interesting, and I want to basically kind of show the ravens coming out because he's not Dream without some ravens. If you guys have happened to have watched Sandman on Netflix, I almost said HBO. Um, please write down in the comments some of your favorite things about the show. And if you have read the comics themselves, feel free to talk about that. Here, and this is probably going to be a really quick one today, simply because it is Labor Day. I know you guys have a lot going on. Just spending time with family or getting ready for work. So it's not going to be a long one for you guys. And I am probably going to go ahead and it's the most dirtiest hand I've ever sketched. I'll do some stuff, some sand. The best part about doing stuff like this space is that if you got decent understanding of human anatomy uh, and perspective and surround with it enough, it's all about showing the most by doing the most absolute least, if that makes any sense whatsoever. And, So no, it looks like absolute chicken scratch, right? But actually going to start working on the finer details. And if you're wondering what kind of eraser that I'm using, this is a kneaded eraser. It's made by Faber-Castell. You can get them at any hobby shop, uh, even online. To go that route. Double check with my reference yet again. So like I said, it's a very ornate mask, and a bit of a curve. Um, looking at it yet again. Let's say it's there. This is there. What I'm trying to do is show off a nice balance of dark. Because even though he is technically a dark character per se, uh, isn't all dark. But at the same time, he also isn't all light. I know that sounds super duper cryptic, if you will, since we're talking about darkness and everything. Um, but I'm not sure who has and hasn't watched the show yet, so I don't want to give away a lot of spoilers since it is technically still a new show. But the mask, and he also wears a ruby pendant and also has the sand, which are all basically just call them totems, if you will. Uh, I know it's a very rudimentary word uh, basically used right now, but it's really the only word that I have to describe. Uh, but they're basically, tokens of his power. And you know, they all do their own individual thing. Without them, you know, he's still a dream. He's still Lord dreams and nightmares, but at the same time, without those things, he's just kind of not 100% whole, if that makes sense. And let's see, let's say right there. there's anything that people like to make shortcuts out of, and some of it is stylistic choice. Right? A lot of people like to make shortcuts out of not wanting to learn basic perspective, basic, and honestly, those things are super duper detrimental in just understanding how things work, you know? Uh, and very, fundamental and something that every artist should try to grasp on. This is going to be my main. I'm going to say that sand is just going to wisp out just a little bit. And into what button do I pick? It's this one. Okay. And if you're wondering why I wear this glove whenever I'm inking, it's so that I'm able to grip the pen whenever I'm using it. And these two are covered so that I'm not smearing ink all over the page. And it seems to work about 95% of the time. But uh, when you get used to wearing it for a while, um, it's definitely a really good tool. Really good to have. Ghouls, nightmares, dreams. All right, so we are going to be by the interesting part is that I'm doing most of the filling in with the black um, with an actual brush because we're going to be using this stuff to do all the black and then this stuff for the white, or at least the white effects, I should say. But at the same time, I need to get some stuff. Basically, if you're thinking about light source and where it's going to be heading, the light source is going to be up here going down this way, if that makes any sense whatsoever. And right now, I'm just thinking about where it's going to be hitting and what's going to be looking. And I'm not gonna lie. There are times where I just do not get the light source the way that I want it to, but it does not stop me. Anything to, work on it. Right. Moving. This is basically going to be this part right here of the thumb. There. Now, here comes the messy part. We're going to be doing something a little bit interesting. I've seen several people do it, so we're going to see if this actually works or not. Now, these are technically the gloves that I usually use whenever I'm working with white ink, uh, but for today, we're going to be using black ink first. I just want to basically dab the black ink on this to create a bit of a texture, and then we're going to be filling in some of this other stuff with the brush right after that. Or it could be a little bit smart and go ahead, use a brush right now. Now, this is just a regular synthetic Taklon #2 round. Uh, Very inexpensive. It's not the, Kolinsky Sable, whatever that people generally like to go after. Really like how this Vortex matte black ink looks that page. It seems to be doing pretty well with some of the stuff I've been working as of late. Mm. Now, the best part about learning how to use brush work like this is, for one, having a steady hand, a lot of patience. Seems to be the best trick. So trying to have any sort of like, didn't start doing like the actual traditional brush stuff until probably about a couple of weeks ago. Made that decision after years of using brush pens to have almost the same amount of uh, give and take. And after trying my hand at painting miniature models, specifically a lot of Warhammer stuff, and a couple of D&D figurines, that got better pulling the brush. If you have any extra questions, comments about you know what I'm trying to do uh, with the negative space and all of that, please just put them down in the comments. And I will try to answer them as quickly as possible. Okay. Justin Butler, hey man, thank you so much for chiming in. Got a little quiet there for a while. Then again, I got a little bit lost in my own thoughts, trying to get this piece in. Trying to do just a little quick dry brushing here. It's a technique I like doing on the often. Right. Into not this much. Right. And since you guys haven't seen my face in a while, this is what I look like still. So I realized earlier, probably about maybe, I don't know, 3 or so weeks ago, that I need to go back on a diet, start losing some weight. And so far, it seems to be doing well. I feel a lot better and lost a couple of pounds so far. And I'm sure you guys will really want to know that. All right. So here comes the interesting part. So we're going to be using this paper towel with this thing of ink, and we're basically going to be going over this section right here to kind of create an interesting texture effects that, I don't know, smoke, atmosphere, whatever you want to call it. And hopefully it will work. Don't make a ginormous mess of all this. If I do, no, you did not see it. All right, here we go. Make sure when doing this, you've got something underneath. Basically, I'm trying to create a bit of a interesting dry brushing effect that's going to show uh, these ravens coming out just to give it a nice, interesting thing. And Justin just started taking diet pills last week, oddly enough. Great minds think alike. Right. Flip this thing around. Find on more the inner side. Yeah, so like I said earlier, I'm totally choosing the wrong day to be wearing a white shirt while doing this. I think this is the last fact. All right. I'm going to take these things off and we're going to go back to doing some more details. Excuse me. But yeah, so I currently have been extremely happy with most of the shows that have been coming out. Sandman, She-Hulk, Miss Marvel. Uh, so far, I've been enjoying House of the Dragon. Meant to watch the new episode and just haven't got around to doing that yet. But hoping to do that after I get this done. Mhm. And we're going to zoom in on the piece real quick so see what we've got so far. And we're going to wait a little bit of that. Like I said uh, earlier, huge fan of Tribal. It's such an interesting texture, um, atmosphere, tone. I know I use these words a lot, but there is definite truth to it. It does take a while to get used to break the desire. Sometimes, like I said, it's a very finicky thing. Sometimes it creates the desire for one, sometimes it doesn't. But like I said, it's one part of the journey, part of the process. Much real quick. We are actually getting a lot closer to the finish line. So, I'm sure you guys are really excited about all of that. And we're gonna bring back this little thing. And let's see. Yes, thank you. Um, was kind of wanting to go more of a kind of a painting kind of route with this as far as the inking is concerned, and wanted to break up a little bit with the. I don't want to call it monotony because it's really not. But after a while of just doing the same thing over and over again, it does kind of feel like that, and you know, really just kind of need to break out and try a couple of different things. And this is one of them. But at the same time, I'm also not the first person to be using this kind of technique. Uh, both Jay Lee and also Jim Lee, as of late, has been using a similar type of technique with all of this. But I am kind of laying down this, you know, dry brushing gray work, if you will, so that once we start putting in the white effect on top, it starts to make a little bit more sense. So just kind of thinking in negatives, thinking in, you know, I was talking about earlier with space. And I'm just going to give off the illusion there are grains of sand. Darker quantities, if you want to call them. And we're going to start going back up here. Hopefully, you guys can see that. I'm going to start our ravens. Let's give off the feathers. Burst its way out. The hardest part, as far as just trying to do these quick silhouettes of birds of any kind. So also try and do different ones. So you're not doing the same, you know, points of wingspans, that sort of stuff. yeah, again, break out of the monotony. I think doing silhouettes of birds is actually a lot harder than drawing actual birds, at least in my experience. So I actually used to like uh, drawing wildlife as a kid, mostly birds. So I'm not sure how many of you have actually seen the actual artwork for the first issue of Sandman, but I knew that it was a painting, but I didn't realize it was a painting with like a bunch of mixed medium uh, put together in like a box with a bunch of boxes and all that. So I thought that entire thing was a painting. I didn't realize that it was actually 3D mixed medium, whatever. And then they took a picture of it, and that's what you see as the first issue of uh, of the Sandman. And so yeah, I was yesterday days old when I first learned about that. So we are now at the 50-minute mark almost, and literally the only thing I have left to do is the white effect, uh, just for adding in extra sand texture, and you're literally done with this thing, done in a good way. So all right, clean off the brush yet again. I'm sure you guys are wanting a little, what is it, AMSR, ASMR, whatever it's called. All right, I'm done with that. That's and a little bit too much. But yeah, there's been some interesting things that I've read in terms of artists and like the things that they like to do and the things that they don't like to do. And of course, animals tend to be something that gets popped up a lot. And at some point this week, if I remember to do it, I'm actually going to be doing a quick video that's going to be talking about uh, my what I believe are the five top art books for anyone that's doing comic art whatsoever, or even just regular illustrations. I feel like those are the five that you need to buy, read, learn, um, because how to draw comics the Marvel way is not that great. And I'm not saying that as a hot take. I'm not saying that as a, you know, gotta act like a butthole just to be relevant, sort of thing. I'm saying it in the sense that things about it have obviously changed within the last whatever. So unless you're drawing like uh, Kirby, unless you're drawing like Ditko, unless you're drawing like Shima, unless you're drawing like um, Ramita Senior, people don't draw that way anymore. People don't do comics that way anymore. A lot of things have changed since then. So um, at some point this week, like I said, if I remember to do it, we'll be doing a video specifically on that. So putting on latex gloves yet again for everyone's favorite entertainment purposes of white splatter. And let me tell you, it's a lot of fun to do. You get it just right. All right, so take a toothbrush that you are obviously not using, and hopefully it has not gone in like a toilet or a dog's mouth or whatever. Just your generic toothbrush and dipping it in some white ink. And before I continue on, I'm going to put some water in this real quick. So hang on for 1 second. Put this down before I drop it. There. There we go. Better consistency. Right. That's a fun gun. Here we go. Make sure that when you're doing this, that you've got something underneath so that you're not making or else it's going to get everywhere. Carpet, clothing, what have you. Right. Got that out of the way. I'll clean the brush later, but I am, remember, there it is. Never be afraid of having too many paper towels. Stop. And continue. A little extra detail, a little extra touch-ups. So I hope you guys are liking this whole series and everything that's going on. Like, I know it is a holiday and it is a Monday, and everyone has a lot of other things going on. But it doesn't stop you wanting to learn something. No. Right. Here we are, ladies and gents. Morpheus from the Sandman. Exit into a bigger thing. But here we are, completely done and in under an hour. Look at that, ladies and gents. All right. Thank you again so much, everyone who just happened to come in today. And like I said, I put it in the very first comments in terms of the materials that I use specifically for this. I think except for the paper, which is nothing more than Strathmore Bristol Series 300. And if you just happen to like everything that's going on, please remember to like and subscribe. And Haven Comics, the best and only comic shop in Madison, Alabama, is located on Slaughter Road. And if you just happen to like my work, be sure to like and follow linktree.com, T Price Artworks. You can find me on, obviously, here on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. And like I said at the very beginning of the film, the live stream, that I am doing a Labor Day sale and selling sketchbooks. Selling prints. So if you like those, you want to help support me, please let me know. Just shoot me a message and we'll get everything squared away. All right. Thank you guys, and I will see you next Monday.